Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to Hang Out with Me. Welcome. I'm Anastasia Fishna, and I welcome you all today to hang out with me. Welcome, everyone. Let me know where you're joining me from. Please share, and invite others to join. Today is a beautiful day, and we must praise God and rejoice in it. And hang out with me is all about relationship goals and marriage goals. And today we'll be talking about. Uh, it's really funny today. The topic that we'll be deliberating today. But the topic says, "Give her the ring and walk the aisle if you say you love her." Give her the ring and walk the aisle if you say you love her. So some people might be wondering, like, or thinking, like, must we give her the ring because we love her? Must we give her the ring because we love her? And for those people asking that question, my question also to you is, must you continue to love her and continue to promise her without making it official? So, welcome to Hang Out with Me. I'm Anastasia Fishner. So, today we're talking about give her the ring if you really say you love her. So, I'm just trying to tell us what goes around in a relationship. What's your relationship goal? I mean, how long do you think you can date a guy before you get married to him? Or how long do you think you can date a lady uh, before proposing to her? That's just the topic that we're deliberating today. And I tagged it, give her the ring and walk the aisle if you say you love her. And because people really need to define their relationship. Let me know where you're watching me from. Welcome all of you that have joined. And please help us to share. People really need to define their relationship. You need to define where the relationship is taking you to. I want us to know that it's not everybody that you come into relationship with that is gonna be your husband or your wife. So we have to we have to decide what we want for ourselves. We have to decide who we want to live our life with, who we want to spend it a lifetime with. So it's all about our choice, and making right choices also begins with how long do we date. And because I'm doing this topic today because so many ladies have been deceived by the so-called men, and of course even so many men also, they've also been deceived by some ladies with "I love you" quotes. So it's a two-way thing. Actually, it's not only for the ladies, or it's just a two-way thing. So many ladies, they've deceived so many men, like they'll tell them, "Oh, I love you, don't worry, I love you, don't worry," and before you know it, they finally settle down with somebody else that they love really, and the person that they've been playing with will be left alone without marriage. So, what are you going through? What do you think is the right time to say yes, I do? What do you think is the right time to say yes to that relationship? What do you think is the right time to say, okay, good, I'm going to say, yes, I do. I'm going to give you the ring. What do you think is the right time? Beloved, I want us to know that the right time, the right timing could be different with people. Some people will meet somebody today, and the next 2 3 weeks they are getting married. Some people will meet somebody today, the next 6 months they're getting married. Some people will meet somebody next 1 year they're getting married, and some people are still in relationship for 10 years and 7 years, and they're not yet married. And my question is, what are you doing there? What are you doing there? What's that relationship about? Do you really define it, or don't you want to get married, or do you just want to have an affair until you're old, and and that's it. So what do you want? So you actually need to define actually what you want. When you define what you want, that will also help you to establish what you want to be seen about you, or to be heard about you in that a relationship. So today I'm not here to tell you the number of times you have to, the number of days or months or weeks you have to date before you give her the ring, or the number of days or months you have to date her, date him before you say yes, I'm ready to marry you. But I'm just trying to like give you some principles that will help you, because life is run by principles. So magicians won't give you their principles because they want to be the one in charge. Thank you so much, Goswig Jackson. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Welcome, sir. Let me know where you're joining from. And please help us to share this thread so that every other person can join. And most especially, don't forget to put in your questions in the comment sections. What's the questions? Put them in the comment section so that I can also treat it and make this broadcast an interactive one for us. God bless you all. Let me know where you're joining from. Bless you. Thank you for sharing. So now we're talking about if you love her, give her the ring. And my question is, how long do you think you're gonna love her before you say yes, I do? That's my question. That's not my number one question. And number two, for the ladies, how long are you gonna date him before you say yes, I'm ready to marry now? So how long? Just put it there. How long do you think? But for me, I'm not here to tell you how long it will take. But in my opinion, I think every relationship, especially when you are mature, and when I say mature, it means you're ready to get married. You're mature in such a way that you're an adult, and you have maybe you finish your school, or you are aspiring to get into your business, or you're already into your business and all that, and you feel you're capable of taking care of yourself financially, because that's actually very important. If you're a man and you feel, oh, you're very comfortable right now, you can take care of yourself, then if you know you can take care of yourself, then you'll be able to say, okay, fine, I can also take care of someone else. But the problem is, so many people, they've not really getting they've not gotten to that realm of taking care of themselves, and they want to take care of others. And when something like that happens, that's why they keep going into relationship and coming out of relationship. So what kind of relationship are you right now in? Are you into that kind of relationship of running in, running out, or you're in a relationship that you feel like, oh, this relationship might end us into a lifetime partner? So you have to just define what kind of relationship you are, and you have also to let your partner know the kind of relationship you are with them, because some people are just the people are just in a relationship that is running and run out, but they deceive also their spouse, believing that it's going to be a lifetime relationship, but in their own inner mind, they already know that it's a running run out. So you have to define your relationship first of all. When the relationship is getting more palatable, is getting more beautiful, is getting when the relationship is progressing, you have to take time. I mean, you have to define that relationship. You have to define that relationship, because when you define the relationship, that's where you know where the relationship is going. So what are the things that you need to do, the principles that you need to look out before you start pumping the big question? And you all know what the big question is. Will you be my husband? Will you be my wife? Kind of question. Before you start popping in the big questions, what do you need to do? You want to know if you have answered the relationship questions, if you have also asked all your relationship questions. That's very important. You want to know if you have answered all your relationship questions, and you have asked all your relationship questions. Relationship questions are those things that you feel you want to know about your spouse, And those things are not really worth waiting for until you get married before you know them. But those things are very important questions that you need to know about them, about their family, about what they like, about what they don't like, their hobbies, what they like to do in the future. And you also have to map out your relationship goals. Is it going to be a short time goal? Is it going to be a long time goal? Or is it going to be a lifetime goal? So you have to map it out. And how do you map out that? You map out that in your questions. So that's when you know when the popping question has to come in. When you have already answered all your relationship questions and asked all your relationship questions. And another one is, have you discovered your purpose? What is your reason for getting married? Why do you want to get married? Have you discovered your purpose in life? Have you discovered your purpose? If you have discovered your purpose, have you also shared some of your life visions with your spouse? Have you shared your future plans with your spouse? And if you have shared a bit or given him or her a glimpse of what you would like to do in the future, then the time to pop in the big question might come in. And sharing ideas also means like you also understanding that your spouse also likes the idea. So that is to say that you sharing your spouse your future plans, and your spouse is also interested in living life with you. Your spouse is interested in living life with you. Your spouse is interested in running the future with you. Then now you can say, okay, fine, you can be ready to pop in the big question. Those are the things that we have to look at. So, and when you now say, I really love her, then you know that you've already defined these principles that undergoes relationship, because these principles will either help you to make your relationship prosperous and beautiful. And when you don't also deal with these questions and principles, it might also mar your relationship. And little wonder why you see people go into a relationship and they go out is because they did not define these principles. So are you ready to define the principles of you getting to know what your lifetime goals, your relationship goals could be? You share it together. And have you also answered all your relationship questions? I mentioned that before. And have you also asked all your relationship questions? And have you also talked about marriage with him or marriage with her? For you to say you're ready to get married, you must talk about marriage with him. So you have to talk about marriage with your spouse. So it's not something you have to shy away, because if not, you end up dating and dating for years and nothing happens. So especially for Christians, it's beautiful when you get married and not staying with somebody that you're not married with for a long time. You can stay to you can date to get to know yourself, to get to know yourself. But when it's taking like 2-3 years doing partnership without official sacred union, then it's not good. And so because it's not good, because your faith says no to that, if you believe in that, then you have to try to make it work. And how do you try to make it work? You try as much as you can to do one, to talk about marriage while you are dating. You talk about marriage with him, talk about marriage with her, even before proposing. So we see a lot of videos of proposals go wrong on social media, right? Yeah, and people might ask why. And some other people, the audience or spectators, I don't know what they call them. Yeah, the people watching the scene would say, oh, say yes, say yes, say yes. So the lady might not really have to say yes if she has not talked about the marriage goals with a guy. So you're a man, you want to propose to a lady outside, bringing your relationship to the to outside a world, and you're kneeling down in public, bringing a diamond ring and trying to wed a girl. Get proposed to a girl that hasn't even known nothing about you. So it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So little wonder why proposal go wrong. So before you go to that extent of getting a ring and say, will you marry me, you must have discussed your marriage with her. You must have discussed your marriage with him, so that you know that then she will make up her mind. She must have said yes indirectly, before you now go public to do proposal. So that's very, very important. You have to talk about your marriage with him and talk about your marriage with her before proposing to her. So have you also talked about what you desire to have? Do you have like-minded desires or like-minded stuffs? Those are the signs that will actually make you to know that, oh, I really love this girl and I'm ready to give her the ring. That's if you have talked about the your lifetime. I mean, if you have talked about your desires, and if your desires are not contrasting to each other, and even if they are contrasting, you're ready to work the relationship. You're ready to work it out. You're ready to accept your faith, to walk in that direction. You're ready to do that, you know, for the sake of the relationship. So when you have that in mind and you've talked about your ligers and the things you want to do, or the things you want to achieve, then you will be able to say, yes, I am ready to marry this person. I am ready to give her the ring. I am ready to say yes, we belong together. I am ready to say yes, we can do it together. So those are the things that we have to think about. And when you see these signs, then you don't need to love her for decades before going to make it official. So when you already see this sign, oh, we've talked about it, oh, we have experienced it, oh, we have a future together, we've discovered our purpose. Even if you've not really discovered your purpose in totality, but you've already gotten a glimpse or an idea of what your life will be like in the future. Yes, life is predictable. If we try to like predict or dream about or visualize what our future is going to be and work towards achieving that, life is truly predictable. And if life is predictable, therefore marriage life could also be predictable. And for it to be predictable is when we talk about it, what you want to do, and when we begin to put principles that will help us achieve whatever we want to achieve. So give her the ring and walk the aisle if you say you love her. And what are the signs? Another sign is that, are you guys on the same page? Are you on the same page? You see people that are in relationship, this one is in a different page, this one is in a different page. It doesn't work like that. For you to be in a relationship that you can say, yes, I'm ready to give her the ring, then you have to be on the same page. On the same page in such a way that you have ideas that does not contrast. And even when they contrast, you're ready to compromise. So it's not like you giving your partner the your partner has to be the one that has to be the one that has to compromise at all times, but you have to take it as a point of duty to also be ready to compromise and push the relationship forward. So you have to talk about, before you say you're going to give her the ring, have you talked about what you want to achieve in future? Have you talked about your children? Do you want to have children? How many children do you want to have? And all that. And peradventure, there is no child coming forth. And what are the things? What are the plan Bs that you people have? So many people, marriages have broken because they feel, oh, she was not able to give me a child, that's why I left her. Oh, he was not able to impregnate me, that was why I left him. But these things are the things that you actually need to talk about at the beginning of the relationship, like get your plan B's, like, oh, if you're not ready to get pregnant, are we ready to adopt? Are we ready to seek another means to have a child that we can call ours? So those are the things you have to talk about. Those are the relationship talks that you have to talk about for your future, and define those things and conclude on those things, so that in the future, when those things begin to happen, you know that you already have answers. You already have way to deliberate to make it work. So these are the signs. And of course, you also have to talk about your location, your job. What kind of job do you want to have do in the future? Some people feel like, oh, I don't want to marry a doctor, he's not always there. I don't want to marry a pilot, he's not always there. I want a lawyer, I want an accountant. Or some people say, oh, I just want to marry a lawyer, I just want to marry a doctor, I love to marry a pilot. So you have to think about your occupation, you have to think about your lifestyle, and of course your location. Where do you want to stay? Where do you want to stay? Some people, they have a little apartment where they are living right now, and they're saying yes to a lady. And when the lady comes, that apartment that you have is not going to be enough to house her. So you have to talk about, where do you want to live when she finally says yes? You have to talk about it. Where do you want to live? You want to stay together in that one apartment? Do you guys want to move? Where do you want to move? You have to talk about the location. You have to talk about the city. If it's like a city, which city do you want to move to? These are the things you have to talk about before you get married. Because if you don't talk about it, if you get married, there will be argument. Now, talking about argument, how far do you argue with your spouse? With your partner, how do you argue with him or her? How does the argument end? Or is there no argument at all during your courtship? Is there no argument yet, beloved? If there is no argument, then I must advise that you wait for there to be argument and resolve an argument before you go into marriage. Because marriage is going to be filled with arguments every day. Marriage is going to be filled with arguments every day. Welcome, Agada Isaac. Thank you. He says, very correct, my approach to interesting blessings. Please help us to share. Thank you. So if you're in a relationship and you feel, oh, this lady that I'm in a relationship with, oh, she's so quiet, she doesn't argue with me, she's so calm. Beloved, you need to really provoke her to argue. You need to provoke her to talk. You need to provoke her to get the other bad side of her. Because if you think she doesn't talk, she doesn't argue, man, when you marry her, something might happen one day and her arguments might be the end of the relationship. So it's always better to check your argument level, see how you quarrel, and see how you solve the problem before you even say, yes, I'm ready to give her the ring. Remember, the topic today is give her the ring and work the hour if you say you love her. Of course, I love her, but I don't want to give her the ring now. I'm trying to see if she's truly the one. Good. So how do you know if she's the one? Now, marriages that work has to do with the two person in the two people in the relationship having something common. It's either they have a common belief system, and it's always beautiful when you have a common belief system. Like you believe, for example, you believe in God, you believe that you're spirit being, and that God, through the Spirit of God, you can prevail, you can excel, you can pray together, you can work together. So there must be something that is common within you that can push you through, so that even when the flesh disobeys the principles that you guys have set in, there is something spiritual that still lingers in you that wants to make the marriage work. So those are the your faith and what you believe in. So it's either, and it's best for you to believe in someone or somebody, for you to be with somebody that has the kind of faith that you have. So if you walk with somebody that have your kind of faith, then life will be more beautiful, because at the end of the day, you can go together to the principles and precepts that God has set, governing that relationship, and you can also look at that and also learn to forgive your spouse and move on. So how nasty does your conflict get? So you need to look at how nasty it gets. If your conflicts get so nasty, then you don't need to give her the ring. If you're in a conflict with her, and you are not always able to settle conflict when you're courting, then you don't need to give her the ring, because if you give her the ring, when you get married, you continue to bring third party to your relationship. So you can only give ring to the person that when you are in a conflict with, you are able to settle your argument. It is absolutely um, right. It's absolutely normal to have conflicts. It's absolutely normal to have arguments. But the question is, when you have arguments, do you settle it? Or every time you have arguments while you're courting, you're always calling your parents to settle. You're always, so it's going to be a lot of headache when you finally get married. So if you're really ready to love her and give her the ring, then you should be ready to do what? To be able to settle arguments within yourselves. If you cannot tolerate her when it comes to conflict, then you don't need to marry her. You don't need to give her the ring. And if you cannot tolerate him when it comes to conflict, then you don't need to give him also yes to your you don't need to say yes to his proposal. So because marriage is something that two people are ready to work out. Marriage is like you getting a certificate for not even doing anything, and this the outcome of what you do later determines whether you deserve the certificate or not. So that is to say that marriage is a place of practicability. That is to say, marriage is a place of action. Marriage is a place of action. So for you to excel in that marriage, it depends on the actions you put in place. So it's not like you copying somebody to come and play in your house. No, marriage is a unique sacred entity, and for you to excel, both of you have to be able to work it out. So for you to know that, am I ready to give her the ring? If you're ready to give her a ring, you should be able to make sure that during your conflict and argument, it doesn't get too nasty that you bring third party at all time. Learn to settle argument. When you feel you're at fault, say, sweetheart, I am sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, my darling. So learn to apologize, learn to forgive, and learn to see if you can solve your relationship problems within the house, first of all, before you get it outside. And another sign could be, when you're courting, another sign to know that you are ready to give her the ring is, have you seen a counselor together? Maybe both of you have gone to see a counselor, a marriage counselor, to give you some principles that might help you. Have you guys gone to see a counselor? The counselor could be your pastor, somebody you respect, or even relationship counselors. Have you gone to see any? Have you sat down to talk, or have you been in a conference call with a counselor to counsel you about relationship goals and marriage goals? Have you done that together while courting? If you have done that together, how was the outcome of the meeting? How was her questions like? How was her responses to the questions from the counselor, and how was his responses? Do you like that? Do you like what you were saying? Do you like all she said? If you do, then you can go give her the ring. Yeah. If you do like it, you can give her the ring. People cannot pretend in every ways of their life. I know people do pretend, but when pretense comes, then the spirit overshadows. That's why it's also good for you to be spiritual in such a way that you can pray to God to open your eyes to see the other side of your spouse that he or she is hiding. People have Everybody have their weak side, and when they come into relationship, they try to hide it. That's the gospel truth. They try to hide it. So, but if you have some element of intuition, God's intuition can help you see what others cannot see. God's intuition can help you hear what others cannot hear. And God's intuition can also help you to help somebody that actually needs to be helped. So, how to get the God's intuition? By also asking God to help you out, to pray, to help you out to be able to make right choices for yourself. It works. It works. So another sign is this: how passionate are you about that relationship? So that if when you are in a relationship, there's somebody you be in a relationship with. You don't even want any other thing to distract you. You don't want anybody to disturb you. You just want to be with a person. You just want to be with that person at all times. So how passionate are you in that relationship? That will determine, like, if you really want to stay with this person forever or not. Because a relationship that does not entice you, that does not move you one bit, then it might not really move you in 5 years when you're married for 5 years. Because after that, so so there must be something special in that child, in that girl. There must be something special in that man. I want to make you to say yes. I want to take the ring. I want you to give me the ring. So there must be something special, and that thing has to be thing that has to do with something that has to do with the person's character, something that has to do with the person's integrity, something that has to do with this person's values, and of course, this person's virtues. So, do you like his virtues? Do you like her virtues? If you like that, then that's what you're going to live with. And if you don't like our virtues, don't marry her. If you don't like his virtues, don't marry him because of his money. Don't marry her because of her money. If you don't like her virtues, because when you marry her because of the money, then it means the money is going to close your eyes when you see those virtues you don't like, or that you're going to keep short for the rest of your life. But if you want to talk later and about that, then it's too late. So it's better you make decision while you're cutting before you say, yes, I want to give her the ring. Or before you say, yes, I'm ready to take the ring. And of course, have you also been able to see the important people in your spouse's life? So if you are in a relationship and the person is saying, hey, I don't want you to see my mother, I don't want you to see my bros, sister, run, there is something hidden somewhere. It's because the person has not made up his or her mind. The person has not made up his or her mind. It's either there is a cockroach in his or her cupboard, or there is a rat in his or her cupboard. So and she doesn't want to let the rat out or the cockroach out. So that's why she's saying, oh, I don't want you to see my parents, I don't want you to see my relations. Some people do that actually because, one, they want to know if you're serious. They don't want to introduce you to their people, and later they discover that you are just a mere friend, you're not serious. So that's why some of them, they just hide. No, let's make this relationship private for a time, which is also brilliant. So, but for you to say, yes, I love her and I'm ready to give her the ring, then you must have cherished her virtues, and of course you must have met the important people in her life. So it's always very important. Some people say, they get married to a ghost, or blah blah blah, African fabulous. And so you can get married to a ghost if you have chance to meet important people in their life. So if you have a spouse and you have met the important people in their life, the important people in their life could be their school friends while they were in school, or could be their family members, their brothers, their sisters, their cousins, their colleagues at work, their friends, their best friends, and all that. I mean, if you are in a relationship with somebody, you should have met his or her best friend. Maybe even if the person has taken you as the best friend, but the person used to have a good friend before he or she met you. So it's very important that you meet also with these important people in this person's life. if you can meet these important people in their life, and you also have relationship with them, like trying to know them and being nice to them, and you see that they are good people. Some people say, oh, I married a wife, I didn't know her family is this bad. So how wouldn't you know that our family is bad? That means you didn't do your homework very well. You didn't do your courtship period very well. Courtship demands that you meet the important people in your spouse's life before you say, yes, I'm ready to give her the ring. So have you met the important people in their life? And these important people, number one is their family members. Number two is their friends. And number three is their colleagues and even their acquaintances, the people they know. From there, you can have one or little idea about who you want to say, yes, I do it. Because marriage is a sacred entity of practicality. So marriage is a sacred entity of workabilities. That is to say that you're just going there to make it work. So if you're going there to make it work, you're not going there to bring it down. And that's why the scripture says that the Lord hates divorce, because the Lord wants you that, like, before you go into marriage, the Lord has already the Lord wants you to be equipped, like, just like in the beginning. In the beginning, in the Genesis, God created Adam, and God made Adam to start working and start calling whatever he calls, it becomes to being, start naming creatures and all that. So Adam was busy equipping himself. So when God sees that he's truly equipped and he has all the features and all the things that he needs to be able to be a good horseman, God now decided to bring Eve. So as a man, you are dating. Thank you, Sister Adenike Omala. Blessings. Thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing. God bless you. So as a man, you should be able to know, to meet the important people in your spouse's life. And as a lady too, you should be able to meet them. So if he's hiding you from meeting the parents, there's something wrong. If he doesn't have issues with his parents and he's just hiding, it's either he must have introduced somebody to his parents, and he doesn't want to do the second introduction, or something is fishing. And beloved, for you to say yes, I do to that kind of person, my question is, have you met the important people in his life? Have you met the important people in her life? You need to do that. And as you do that, you begin to know more about the person. Okay. Let me know if you have questions before I round up. And let me know, how long will it take you to do all this before you can say, yes, I love her, let me give you the ring. I love her, let me give her the ring. Let me know. Tell me. I've deliberated a lot of topics today. I've talked about asking the big question before popping in a big question. I've talked about do you want your relationship to last for a lifetime? I've talked about, have you talked about marriage with him or her? You need to talk about marriage with him or her. Good morning, Ejike Kingsley. Good morning, brother. You're just coming in. We're about running up. So our topic today is give her the ring and walk the aisle if you say you love her. Ejike, let me know if you'd like to call in before I sign out. If you'd like to call in and contribute, you can just contribute immediately. Let me put my phone on. So if you'd like to call, you can just call. You can tell me you'd like to call, then I send the number to call to you. If you like to contribute, you can call me immediately so you can contribute. My Facebook number is on my Facebook. I mean, my number is on Facebook, so you can check out my number and call directly if you like to contribute before I sign out. What's education? Education, a man knows a woman he wants to get married to from the first day he met. Yeah. Okay, somebody's calling. Let me see who's calling. Let me see who is calling.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
Okay, it's Educate. I'm calling from Germany here, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Educate. So, thank you. We're about rounding up anyway, but I will just give you time to speak. So, today we're talking about give her the ring and walk the aisle if you love her. So, now, what do you have to contribute?
Okay, in other words, if you love her, give her the ring. Don't just keep her in a suspense and do the needful.
Exactly. Don't keep her so long promising with promises and promises. Just do the needful.
Not like people in abroad. Maybe I'm in Germany and I met a woman who is in Nigeria. I'll tell her I'm coming back in December. I'll tell her I'm coming in January. November. Before you know it, 3, 4, 5 years, we run out of her life and she become a kind of, she run out of market value for marriage cycle. Anyway, the truth remains that as a man, I don't know if women have such in their, mind or whatever. But as a man, we know the kind of women we want to get married to. If I see you as a woman, if I approach you, I already know whether I approach you for maybe normal fun having or for serious relationship, because I already know the kind of person I want to marry. Maybe a fat woman, a big one, chubby, slim, tall, black or short or whatever. But sometimes for men, once desirable is not available will always become our desirable. That's why sometimes we go into marriage because of circumstances. Maybe you're looking for documents or you have done everything humanly possible to succeed. No way. You see a woman that's working in a bank, you don't love her physical appearance, but just because you want a soft land, you want to run away from poverty, poverty alleviation, you go into that marriage. Once that woman lost that job, that love will disappear.
That's right. That's right.
So because that is not the kind of woman you wanted to marry. If things are working properly for you, you go for your taste. Not like some of us in abroad, we met a woman maybe, which you know that in Africa, most of us hardly marry single mothers. But because you want to survive, to have a document, you see a woman who already have 10 children, you go into marriage with her. Normally, that woman is not the person you wanted to marry at the onset. If things are working in a platonic form, normal ground.
Yeah.
But because you want to get out of situation, you jump in. So what am I trying to say? A man knows the kind of woman he wants to marry. Just like when I met my wife, we met, I think, October. From our interactions and everything, I already know that, and physical appearance, this is the kind of person I want. So I didn't, waste any more time than once I traveled down to Nigeria, we did everything. I think everything happened within 4 or 5 months. Wow. So now, if I end relationship, because sometimes this type of relationship somehow is very difficult. In the sense that human beings are full of lies and deceit. You will hardly know people. But once you are sincere to yourself and honest, you can be able to, that discern. You have the spirit of discernment. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like now, if you are living in India or America and you are dealing with a woman in Cameroon, Nigeria, Congo, whatever, by interaction, you know whether this man is good, whether this woman is lying to you, whether this man is lying to you. From there, you can make up your mind. But this kind of relation take time. Unlike where you live closer, you live in the same city, you can visit each other. You know when this man or woman is cheating or having double dating. But if you are living far away, it is difficult. So in other words, distant relationship can take maybe longer, maybe 2 years or 3 years or whatever, depends. But if you people live close, I think 6 months is enough. And you have to ask some vital questions. There are questions you have to ask. Maybe your health status, your previous relationship, why did you leave that woman? Why did you leave that marriage? Some of those things. Did you have a baby before? So whatever you can think of. Because that is your life. You don't run away from asking questions. Because some of our sisters in Nigeria always make this kind of problem.
They don't want to ask questions. They feel like if they ask so much questions, the man might not want them again. But that's a lie. You have to ask all your questions.
Instead of you to ask that man, but what are you doing in Germany? What kind of document are you using? Do you have it? Because it is your life you want to protect, because you are going into that marriage. They will not ask because they feel like if I'm asking, those guys will think that I'm so inquisitive, I'm so desperate, or I want to play, I too know.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? That's the difference between black people and white people. White people will ask you all the questions they need to know, you know. So now, if you have a man who is approaching you, who want to marry you, maybe that person lives in diaspora or far away from you. Ask some question. What kind of business are you doing? What kind of job are you doing? You know, when last did you visit the country? A woman, have you done DNC? I do ask such a question. I know so many things that comes into my mind. If you are not ready to answer me, I will look for another woman. You know what I mean? If you are not ready to answer me, I look for another man. That's how it should be.
And their blood group also.
To that marriage, whatever you see, don't start blaming. Oh, this man didn't tell me. If you didn't ask me a question, I will not tell you. Just like you ask me, tell me where you are calling from. Now, I'm calling from Germany. If you didn't ask me, I will not say it. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
So now, relationship sometimes I think 1 year is enough. And you as a woman, you know what you want in a man. You know, even as your age is, if you are getting older, you don't need to, if maybe you are getting to 35 or 40, you don't need to go into a relationship with a man of 30 years because you are wasting your time. That is another mistake.
Why did he say that? Why? People believe that we are people believe that we are spirits. Age is just a number. It doesn't really matter. We are all spirit beings. The body is just a physical being for the so why do you think 30 can marry 40?
Age is just a number. Yeah, we can always say that, but we know the truth. There are some I know that you can look younger than your age sometimes, but there are truths we have to tell ourselves.
Say it.
A woman of 35 years, how dare you try to marry a boy of 27 years or 20, even a boy of 30 years? It doesn't work. There will be a time the reality will hit on you. In other words, if you are getting to some certain age and you really want to marry, don't be emotionally attached. Maybe in Facebook, a man of a younger guy will maybe chasing you, telling you all you want to hear, showering you with praises and love and whatever. You carry the way. No, don't do that.
Okay. Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you another question. What about the young the old men getting married to young ladies? You're saying no. You're saying no to young you're saying no to young men getting married to old ladies. But what about old men getting married to young ladies?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody 55 getting married to 18.
Any old man that is getting married to a younger lady, that man doesn't know what he's doing. He's digging his grave.
Oh my goodness.
He's in his grave.
Why?
It doesn't take me. Like maybe you are, let's say, for example, I'm 60 years. I still look young. I have money. I travel down to Nigeria. I pick a young lady of 17, 18 years or 20 who is just finished her university degree or whatever. And she's into a relationship with somebody. But because that guy is not ready, that guy doesn't have money, she don't want to marry me as a poverty alleviation. Because a woman that has have something doing, hardly get into such a marriage. Any woman you see that married such a kind of 40 years gap, 30 years gap, that woman is just a gold digger. You hardly see, I was in a daughter of a governor or rich people, unless those people that are religious gullible, the other kind of religion, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That get married on their religious. But on normal, let me put it like Christians or people that are exposed. Have you seen a governor that the daughter got married to a man that is 30, 40 years older than him? It is the rare. Unless that woman, will I put it in possess or she doesn't know what she's doing, or she's going into that relationship to have a comfort, whereas she'll be cheating. So, as a man, if you want to live longer, don't go into the. I know sometimes you say they want somebody that will be doing me. I don't want to mention it that that will be. I don't want to mention it because of Facebook. Like that red fluid liquid that flows in our vein.
Okay.
They want the one that will be making them to look younger. It doesn't work like that. You as a man, as you are getting older, there's something we call ED, erectile dysfunction, which is common. It's an age-related problem. ED simply means inability of a man to achieve an erection. Or once you achieve erection, it's not going to be firm, strong enough to perform, to penetrate. It is common. I know because of it is diabetes or whatever, high BP. But as your age is growing, you might encounter those things.
But
so
what?
now you that is 70, 60 years.
Okay, go ahead, please.
You that is 70, 60 years, you want to marry a woman of 20 years. Now, once you are 60, you marry somebody that 20. If you are getting to 70, that person will be 30 years, Abby. Is it not true?
That's right.
Yeah, a lady of 30 years look like still too young. That time maybe she was naive then in the village because of poverty, but now she has been exposed. She now seeing you as, oh, I made my greatest mistake in life. What am I doing with this papa? She will no longer be able to present to even in Facebook. Even when your birthday, she can be, will no longer present to even.
But I think that's only if she did not love the man. But because love covers everything. Love covers everything.
I know.
In my opinion.
Don't forget that love is blind. Love is a life. If you fail to nurture love, it's going to die. There are factors that love to flourish. That's why it seems like if you're like, for example, I'm a woman, my husband is doing great, having a good business, have a good job. Once that business collapses or the job failed, and I become the breadwinner of the family, before you know it, that love will reduce. You know what I mean? Love is there are factors that makes love to flourish. So sometimes in a marriage, if there is a lack of intimacy, it makes a younger woman to start cheating.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your contribution. So now, what can you say now what can you say that now I am ready to give her a ring? What motivates you? What motivates a man to say yes, I'm ready to give this lady the ring?
What motivation comes from like decision? I am of age to marry. I want to I need a companion. Then I have seen that this woman is my body part. Part of me. That she have 70 or 80% of what I desire in a woman. We are compatible. For example, I've seen that among all the women I have seen or have dated or millions of women out there, she happened to be the one, choosing one. Let me go ahead with her. Or I see something unique, or I'm targeting something in her. Just that, we have different things that motivate us. Sometimes it might be money, it might be physical appearance, it might be just it might be even fiction, or you know what I mean, or whatever. It might be even a kind of you have intercourse with her and you feel that, oh, she's the best, she's better than Chidinma, she's better than Jennifer. You understand what I mean? We all have different motives that push us forward. That's why, but when that motive is not genuine, that relationship or marriage, may not go long way before it crash. That's why I see people dated for 30 years, 20 years, 5 years, 2 years. After marriage of 6 months, the marriage will crash.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. I don't know if you still want to add something before we round up.
What I want to say is this: as a man, please, mostly people that lives in diaspora. If you know that you are not ready for marriage, maybe you are still believing God for your document, which I know, because sometimes we do promise women, but once we couldn't be able to get the document, we deviate, we start chasing Oyibo or chasing other things. And those women, we kept them waiting in Nigeria. Before you know it, from 20 years to 40 years. You know what I mean? So if you know they are not ready, please don't promise a woman. And if you know that you don't have a job you are doing, the Bible said that whatever you lay your hands to prosper. You don't need to be a millionaire or have a car, but at least have something to do. Have a small job, even if a job of 10,000 naira. As you are doing that job, you might get a bigger one. Even if it's a business of driving Okada or Kekemawa, as you are doing that, you might get a higher opportunity. So in other words, don't go into marriage if you don't have something doing. Depending on your sisters and your family, saying that God is the one that trains children. At the end of the day, you brought in children that are going to start suffering. They see your children hawking, selling pure water. So, and you as a woman, if you want to get married, know what you want in a man. Don't settle for less, because that's in fact, you are going to regret it, because marriage is supposed to be for better, for worse. It's a long life experience. That's something you expect to last till
lifetime. Yeah.
If you go into marriage because of desperation, because of societal stigma, because of fear of I don't know, maybe I'm not 30 years, what of in 5 years, if I didn't get married, what will happen to me? And you settle for less, my dear, you are going to regret it. And don't be the one that pushes marriage. You know what I mean? You push a man into marriage by getting pregnant or trying to lure him in one way or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Let
that's
that
right.
man be the one that you. If you happen to be the one that chases a man into marriage, you're going to remain her toys, his toy. He's going to, treat you the any way he wants. So let the man do the chasing.
What about?
But know when
Yeah.
to
Okay. Go.
to get. Don't put hard to get. So once you know that this man is coming for real, know what you want. At the same time, see for God the intervention, because sometimes women do have problems like sometimes 5 suitors will come at the same time. You become confused. Maybe the one you love may be short, the one you doesn't love may be rich, the one you like may be poor, the one you like may be educated. You know what I mean? So always seek the God their guidance. Otherwise, 5 people might come at the same time. You might end up losing them. And at the same time, always go for like minds. If you are highly educated, maybe a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever, you can't operate with a mere pharmacist, a businessman, no matter how rich he is. You know what I mean? You can't be able to operate with that person. That is just the real truth. So if you must marry somebody that is, doesn't have a sound education, make sure that that man is open to correction and want to learn or move forward. We have adult education, which people can always upgrade themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you get married into a man that doesn't really have what it takes, you might end up in frustration. And if you want to go into marriage, don't go into a family that doesn't appreciate you. There are families that doesn't like you for whatever reason. Maybe it might be your religious belief, your tribe or your race or whatever reason. They don't just like you, just like in Nigeria. Some Igbo people, maybe Enugu don't like him, Imo don't like Abia don't like Delta. So and you want to get into such a family, they say, no, as long as this woman is from Delta, from Lagos, we don't want her. And all of them doesn't like you. Once you enter such a family, you are going to suffer. You will go extra mile in order to please all of them. And if you want to go into marriage, don't start trying to do eye service. Maybe the man will tell you, go and visit my mother in the village or my family. You go there, you start sweeping. You wake up by 5 o'clock to pray, to show them that you are religious somebody.
So you become their slave. They start using the person as slave.
I don't want to mention some of those things because of Facebook. So don't be a psychophant as well.
Yeah, especially. But what can you say about people living together for a long time, like 5, 6, 7 years, 8, 10 years? They're not even married and they have children. They don't want to get it official. Is it because they're afraid of marriage, or what's going on? Or they're village people?
No, cohabiting is not good. If you're a Christian, you should do what is needful. There's no point of cohabiting. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I will advise you, if you live with somebody, but it depends on what you want in life. But if I live with you for 5 years, I should be able to know whether you are good for marriage or not.
Yeah. Well, I must say thank you so much, Mr. Ejike, for your contribution. It's really a beautiful one. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that was Mr. Ejike Kingsley from Germany, trying to share also part of his view. What we should know about before we say yes, we are ready to give her the ring, or we are ready to say yes to his proposal. So I believe he has also touched some points there, and I believe that will also help us to learn 1 or 2 things, and also to help us better our relationship. So what's your relationship life like? Which stage are you right now? Would you like to talk to a counselor? Would you like to talk to someone for some principles? Then send me a direct message on Facebook at Anastasia Fishner. Then we'll take it up from there and let you know more and more and more. And if you like to get also some principles about the workabilities of your relationship, you can get a copy of my book. The link is already in the comment section. The book, Dare to Love, will also expose some principles that can help you work out a practical marriage that is enviable, and of course beautiful one at that. So I'll see you next week on Hang Out With Me. But until then, I want to thank all of you that have shared, and those that will watch later. Please share. And thank you for joining. If you have any question concerning today's topic, please put it in the comment section. I want to round up by saying that you don't need 1 decade to know if she's gonna be your wife or not. You don't need 1 decade to know if he's gonna be your husband or not. You just need some few months, or even some few weeks, or even some few days, or even just one day to know if that person is gonna be with you or not. Because you need to check out the person's instincts, the person's virtues, and the person's values. And if you're working on the intimate talents and virtue the person has, that will also help you to create a future relationship that you can stay with the person and also give birth to children. Procreate with that person for another generation. So think about your love life, think about what you're ready to offer, and not always what your partner is ready to offer. If you have that kind of mentality, then you will be able to love without condition. You will be able to love unconditionally, and also connect your relations to the relationship to the place of God, where God will be the head of your family. And as you do that, life will be more beautiful and palatable with you. Remember, is hang out with me, and I'm so happy to have you. Thank you for staying around, and thank you for sharing. God bless you, and see you next week. Bye bye.